Bluey The Sign. Spoilers. Duh. This episode is about Bluey basically having to deal with the idea of moving, something that she doesn't want to do, while at the same time her family has to get ready for a wedding with Rad and Frisky. The episode last week that premiered, Ghost Basket, actually kind of ties into this episode just a little bit. Where in that episode it is actually revealed, the moving sign is actually revealed at the very end of the episode. But this is the main show. This is the main one, the big one. The biggest episode of Bluey ever. 4 episodes of Bluey in one episode. 28 minutes. And this may surprise some people, this may not surprise some people. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the latter. It is a really, really incredible episode. Like, one of the best Bluey episodes I think I've seen. This episode felt so short. It felt so short. These 28 minutes breezed by like that. There was no waste in pacing. There was no, we got everything we wanted. We saw the wedding. We saw the lead up to it with them trying to find Frisky after she unexpectedly kind of runs away from it. Because ironically and conveniently enough, Rad also wants her to move out of the city to go live somewhere else. And she doesn't want to do that like Bluey. And as we do all this, we have Bluey who's kind of still torn on the idea of moving. I also love how Bingo in this episode is kind of like indifferent. She doesn't really mind it, at least it seems. She doesn't mind it. Like whenever the people who are buying the house are coming, she's like, oh, good for them, they have a house. I also love the part with Bingo saying, after Bluey says, the dogs with no eyes, they bought our house. And then Bingo corrects her saying like, I think their eyes were just covered. This episode had good jokes too. This episode had really good jokes as well, like that one and a few other things. I'm just going everywhere, really. I'm just trying to collect every single thought I have about this episode because it's really that good. I just want to get everything out. Let me think. The references. I love the references in this. There are a ton of references. Like, we saw the grandparents flossing, which was something that they did back in, season 1, season 2? Whenever they did that episode. Even the whole thing earlier in the episode before the wedding stuff, where Rusty jumped up and said, let's play Army! And then Jack's like, yeah! Nice little callback to a really good episode. And I'm sure there's many, many, many others, but those were the ones I noticed. There was also an emotional chord in this episode, of course, as there always is with Bluey. I mean, come on, you're talking about Bluey. One of the best at pulling people's heartstrings. Just enough, just enough. And I officially have joined the club. I didn't cry much, but I cried a little. Just a little. Mainly the ending, which I think a lot of people are probably gonna have the exact same reaction, I'm sure. Let's go and talk about that ending, I guess. Let's do it. We talked a lot about the wedding stuff. The wedding stuff actually wasn't... I was expecting it to be more of a main focus. Like, we saw the part with Brandy, we saw that, and that was cool. But really, the wedding was not really the main focus. Which I guess makes sense, because the sign is the name of the episode. It makes sense why it would be the sign, and not the wedding. But still, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that to be kind of sidelined, really. I mean, we saw it, don't get me wrong. We saw just enough of it to where it's like, oh, it does belong in the episode. Because we're building up to it, and that's the reason why this episode even exists, is because the wedding's happening. But it wasn't like a typical plot where it's just a wedding, and that's all it is, which is what I was expecting. I was definitely expecting a lot of. Regardless, back to the ending. I didn't touch up on that fact of what I liked about Bingo in this episode. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. This review, damn. But I liked how at first Bingo was kind of indifferent, but once you get to more of the end of the episode, she begins to kind of resonate with Bluey. Very, very similar emotion to Bluey. After realizing what, selling a house to somebody actually means. which I love. I love how they write the kids as kids. They do such a good job at, I guess, just writing them as such. Something that most shows, especially episodic ones, don't really pull off as much. And now the ending. The official end of this episode. It is pretty much confirmed. There's the house is empty. They think they're gonna be moving away. But there's one last scene with the buyers where they spy a house for sale with a pool, which is something that they were disappointed with the healer home not having one. And so it's implied through no dialogue, just this beautiful song. Don't know the name of it, don't know the artist, because there is lyrics to it, which is kind of weird. I gotta tell you, it kind of threw me off just a little bit because there was lyrics to it. But it was weird for about 2 seconds. And then, like, as soon as you heard it, I'm like, damn, this is actually, okay, no, this works. I like this. But then through no dialogue for the rest of the episode, Bandit tears off the sold sticker on the sign, looks at it, looks back at his family, and as the music swells, he picks up the sign, yeets it into the street, and all of his family come running out of the car, and they all tackle him to the ground, and they hug him. It was such a perfect ending. I don't see any other way that could have possibly ended than that. The fact that it happened with no dialogue, just this beautiful song that's playing in the background, is a feat for any show, really, any show. But for a preschool show like Bluey, it is outstanding. A textbook example of how talented these people are working on the show. Very, very good. Like, one of the best scenes in Bluey I've seen. I literally was so invested in the scene. I was literally cheering on Bandit. I was like, take that sign, yank it out of the ground, and throw it. Just and he did. It was so cool. So really, I was crying, yes, but I was crying because what I was watching was so cool. That's what it was, man. I just love this show, man. I really, really, really love this show. Really do. And with that, I think I've pretty much said everything I want to say. This episode is just perfect. It is truly a 28-minute long masterpiece. I mean, with Bluey, what are you expecting at this point? My God, man. This show just continues to impress me. It's unbelievable how good this show is. All right, well, that is my lengthy review. Kind of lengthy. I don't know how lengthy it'll actually be once I actually get done to editing it. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoy, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm awesome. I am just... speechless. I love it. Love this episode. It was anticipated so much. Hype was built up so much. I think it leaked some places. I don't know exactly what the story is. I didn't really pay attention because, of course, I was avoiding spoilers as much as humanly possible. But I am just happy. That's pretty much what it is. I am just happy that it turned out to be as good as I hoped it would be. So, guys, I'll go and see you guys soon. Take care, everybody.